Hello everybody. Today we are doing What If Deku had Chronos' Quirk, Part 2. I do want to let you guys know I'll be doing another video tonight. If I don't fall asleep, maybe. If so, I will be doing What If Deku was an Uraraka. Because I found a pretty good picture for it. It's gonna, for the quirks at least, it's gonna be Uraraka, she can float it, Izuku can pull it towards him. It'll be the gravitational duo. Smiley face. So everybody, on to the video. Okay, so we continue this right as Izuku puts the phone up to his ear and says, "Hi, Dad." As Hisashi says, "Hello, Chrono. It's been so long since I've seen you. You were just a little toddler. It's been so long, son. So, how are you?" As Izuku says, "I'm great, Dad." "So, why did you go to America?" As Hisashi says, "Oh, that. We needed money. We really needed money. And we do things in desperation that we wish we didn't do. But I can't just leave this position now. I'm gonna get a bonus too later. So, yeah, I'm sorry. It's gonna be a long time before I can see you again. It's the first time in 18 years we've even spoken. Isn't that ironic?" As Chrono says, "Yeah, it is. So, Dad, my question is, what are you going to do now then? How long are you going to stay in that job?" As Hisashi says, "Well, Chrono, I'm going to 5 more years. I'm going to stay here for that long." Really? Okay. As Hisashi turns back onto the phone, says, "Well, actually, it turns out in 3 years. On about some date near when a school year usually ends." As Izuku says, "I'll be your hero by then, and I'll be one you can admire, Dad." As Hisashi says, "I already admire you." As the call ends, as Inko, sobbing in the next room, says, That was so sweet, Hisashi. It's a shame." As she walks away. For the next 10 months, Chrono trains his abilities. He even learns how to use different types of portals. One to where it'll summon an object, and one to where it will dispose of said object. And it can be very, very helpful with things like knives, where if he throws a knife, he can use that to consistently keep it in the air for always having a threat. Also, he went forward in time a little, and he went 3 years into the future and met Bakugo. As Bakugo says, "Oh, hi, Chrono. Is this any time skip, if I should know?" As Izuku says, Chrono says, "Yeah, I'm from 3 years in the past. I just like to say, Katsuki, I'm happy you're alive." As Bakugo sheds a tear and says, "Yeah, I'd say the same, but Yesterday was a rough day. As he walks away, and Izuku thinks, what happens before my father arrives? Anyway, guys, Chrono continues his training for the next couple months, and eventually the day arrives for the UA entrance exam. And Chrono aces the entire written portion because, he can go forward and backwards in time to see the answer key for when it's done, which astonished Nezu because he had gotten a perfect score. Only Nezu had ever done that, because obviously he was the maker of the test. So, Chrono goes over to the practical exam, the fighting part, as Chrono called it. While they were all readying up, he saw a girl with brown hair, a brunette to be exact, as she was pacing around being very anxious, as Chrono, went over to comfort her. And a boy with tall blue hair and blue eyes said, "Are you trying to interrupt her? She's just pacing around, don't worry. You don't have to distract her, you jerk." As Chrono pushes him away and says, "Whatever you say, idiot." As he goes over to Ochako and says, "Hi, my name's Chrono." As she looks at him and says, okay. What do you want?" As Chrono says, "Relax." As he puts his hands on her shoulder, says, "You'll be fine." As he gives her a smile. As President Mike then says, "Start!" As Chrono immediately uses his portal to warp to a massive group of 3-pointers. As out of the rifts in the dimensions, he makes a massive tentacle slam down onto the ground, smashing most of the robots. He also makes a very, very strong metal pipe come from a time. He got it from a very strong metal pipe. And he smacked a couple robots, destroying them immediately. So, Chrono also had a gun that dispersed the amount of explosion power that was Bakugo's gauntlet fully charged. So, Chrono was destroying so much robots. By the first 5 minutes had passed, he had already 26 points, but he used a lot of energy, so that weakened his arsenal. By the time the exam was nearly ended, he only had 77 points. Really wanted to beat Katsuki. He looks over to Ochako, who had just caught her leg on a boulder, as he looks up to see the 0-pointer. As Chrono walks up to her and pulls her out and puts the boulder in a portal and puts it above the robot, bonking it, basically. As Chrono says, "Get out, Ochako. I'm gonna do something." As he makes a massive portal around the robot. As the robot looks down and falls into the portal, appearing in the bottom of the ocean, immediately being flattened, and immediately returning the robot. As Chrono says, "Easy as ever. No one can even stand that." I can barely pull off that ability, though. That's very far. Very, very far down. As Chrono walks over to Recovery Girl and starts carrying Ochako. As Ochako protests, like, "I don't need to be carried." As he drops her off at Recovery Girls and says, "Well, you did." As he walks away from Ochako, as she gets mad and says, "What the heck?" As she kicks him in the back of the head and says, "I didn't need your help there." as Izuku looks over to her and says, "Uh-huh." You don't have to act like that, you know? As she's like, "What do you mean?" As Chrono just simply teleports away. So that's how that interaction goes. So when Izuku gets home, finally after the exams, he talks with his father again about how he aced the exams and hopefully got more points than his rival Katsuki Bakugo. 4 weeks later, Chrono, receives a letter in the mail. And when he immediately tears it to shreds and opens it, he gets the normal telecom from All Might saying, "You've gotten into UA High School, one of the highest achieving classes of all hero schools. Also, most expulsions." So yeah, that's it for you. Anyway, guys, that's where we'll be leaving off. Actually, no. We can keep going. I don't want this to be too short. Chrono then arrives at his school and says, Okay. 1A. Shoto Aizawa. That's Eraserhead, as he says that out loud and says, "Oh no. He's the one who expelled an entire class last year," as he starts pacing around while in the hallways trying to find his class. Eventually he does find 1A though. And near the end of the bell, jumps in as Ochako greets him like, "Hello, Chrono." "Well, I'd just like to thank you for saving me back there." "I owe you one," as she walks away. And Aizawa comes behind him and says, "You're almost late. We can't be having that. Get in your desk," as he explains the rules of what they'll be doing today. And when Chrono and his class go outside, Chrono, obviously getting first place with hero points, was called up to go first. And when Chrono says, "Understood," as he puts his hands around the ball, and with a teleportation, sends it onto the moon. As the phone says question mark, and then says infinity. And then it blasters to a number of septillions of miles away from them, as Izuku sent it to an outer planet on the Milky Way. And yeah. Anyway, guys, Aizawa just says, "So you can teleport stuff. Surprises me from this far of range, from the moon to here, then to somewhere in the Milky Way. You've got some power, kid. Dang." Is everyone astonished? Does the rest of the exam. So yeah, Izuku obviously gets first with his very overpowered powers. So yeah, that's where we'll be leaving off actually for this one. And yeah, this is Clint's Story signing off. Goodbye.